Iran strikes Bahrain, others hosting United States forces in Middle East. Gunman abducts 6 passengers, shoot driver in fresh Kogi attack. NSCDC female officer dies after patrol vehicle accident. On a foreign scene, Congo Brazzaville president vows to keep power as campaign kicks off. Good evening, this is News Update on Trust TV. I am Chiamaka Nwafo. Thank you for joining us. Let's go to happenings of the day. Iran has launched missile attacks on multiple countries, hosting American troops across the Middle East following a wave of United States strikes. In Bahrain, Iran reportedly targeted the 5th Fleet Service Center. In Iraq, explosions near the U.S. consulate in Erbil were reported, with coalition forces intercepting multiple drones and missiles. Jordan's military shot down 2 ballistic missiles, sustaining only material damage. In Kuwait, Iranian missiles hit Camp Arifjan and Ali Al Salam Air Base, causing runway damage. Qatar's Al Udeid Air Base was also targeted, while Syria saw 4 deaths from an Iranian strike in the south. In the UAE, 2 missiles were intercepted, though debris killed a civilian in Abu Dhabi. The strikes underscore rising tensions as the U.S. and Iran continue military operations across the region. The federal government has raised a safety advisory to Nigerians living in parts of the Middle East following reports of military actions in the region. In a statement by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs signed by spokesperson Kimebi Imomitimi, the government said it is closely monitoring the volatile situation and assured citizens that their safety remains a top priority. Nigerians in Iran and neighboring Gulf countries, including Qatar, Bahrain, Kuwait, United Arab Emirates, and Saudi Arabia, have been urged to remain vigilant, limit non-essential movement, and comply strictly with directives from local authorities. The government also advised citizens to avoid strategic or military locations, large gatherings, and public demonstrations while relying only on credible sources for information. The Nigerian embassy in Tehran and missions across the Gulf are on high alert to provide consular support. Abuja also called on parties involved in the conflict to de-escalate tensions and embrace dialogue in the interest of global peace. Still on security matters, but here in Nigeria, suspected bandits have abducted passengers in a violent attack along the Ijowa-Ijegbe axis in Kogi State. The incident occurred Friday evening in Ijegbe, Mokbomoru local government area, while armed attackers ambushed a commercial bus, opening fire and forcing it to a halt before carrying out the abductions. The bus driver was reportedly shot at close range while attempting to escape and was rushed to an undisclosed medical facility with critical injuries. The identities of the abducted passengers remain unconfirmed, with families scrambling to establish contact and secure their release. The Kogi State Police Command is yet to issue an official statement on the attack or confirm the number of people abducted. A serving National Youth Service Corps member has reportedly been subjected to brutal torture in captivity by suspected bandits in northern Nigeria. In a disturbing video Trust TV cited on X, formerly Twitter, the Corps member speaking in Hausa was seen surrounded by attackers who repeatedly flogged, punched, and kicked him while he pleaded desperately for his life, invoking God and Prophet Muhammad in appeals for mercy. The victim, visibly exhausted and injured, was also thrown to the ground and had his chest repeatedly jumped on by the assailants. At one point, the Corps member appeared to lose consciousness, but the attackers mocked him and continued the assault. One of the bandits reportedly boasted that their treatment mirrored alleged torture methods used by the Nigerian military. The video highlights the extreme distress of the victim, who struggled to breathe and move as the attackers continued unchecked. Banditry and mass abductions remain a serious threat in parts of northern Nigeria, with students, travelers and youth corps members increasingly targeted for ransom. Authorities have yet to release information on the identity and condition of the victim. 6 weeks after bandits attacked Kajit village in Sabunbrini local government area of Sokoto state, families of the abducted victims say they are still struggling to secure their freedom. The attackers reportedly kidnapped 28 residents during the late-night invasion, but later released an elderly man and 4 minors. 23 victims remain in captivity. Relatives say the kidnappers are demanding 20 million naira and 2 Katsina motorcycles as ransom. Families and community members have since been contributing money, offering 5,000 naira, 10,000 naira, or more, depending on what each person can afford. A relative described the situation as worrying, saying negotiations have been ongoing for weeks without success. When contacted, the Sokoto State Police Command said it was not aware of the latest development and urged residents to cooperate with security agencies in efforts to secure the victims' release. So the security over in Bauchi State, the Nigerian police force in the state has announced a massive deployment of joint security personnel to communities in Alkaleri local government area following renewed security concerns in the area. The command's police public relations officer, Nephew Habib, disclosed this at a press briefing on behalf of the State Commissioner of Police, Sani Omolori Aliyu. Our reporter in the state, Adamu Imam, tells us more.
The Bauchi State Commissioner of Police has reassured residents of Mansour and other surrounding communities in Alkaleri local government area that the security situation remains under control despite recent security incidents reported in Guana district and Kafin-Duguri.
A statement, there has been massive deployment of all security agencies in the state, with also enhanced weaponry presence, the supply to those operatives, and also security intelligence gathering is improved. We are using intelligence so that we can improve the operation, and we make sure that the criminal elements and other supporters of them doesn't take that opportunity to inflict fears in them.
The commissioner attributed the recent security challenges to the infiltration of criminal elements from neighboring states. He, however, explained that massive deployment of security personnel, along with improved operational equipment, has been put in place to tackle kidnapping and banditry in the affected communities.
Is steadily improving and remain under control. The command also assures them that there is no safe haven for banditry in those areas. In a bid to further enhance the security situation, CP Sani Omolori emphasizes that community cooperation is crucial in fight against any form of crime. He further advises residents to promptly provide intelligence information to security agencies and to observe and report any strange faces, objects, or suspicious activities or movements, assuring them that their identities will be protected.
The command also noted that collaborative efforts among the Nigerian Police Force, Nigerian Army Department of State Services, Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, and other security agencies with support from the Bauchi State government are already yielding positive results. Adam Imam, Trust TV News, Bauchi.
A female operative of the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, NSCDC, has died after being struck by a patrol vehicle during a simulation exercise in Abuja. The incident was confirmed on Saturday by the Corps spokesperson, Afolabi Babawale, who described it as a tragic mishap during a coordinated show of force drill. Video clips circulating on social media show the officer being hit as the patrol vehicle made a U-turn. The vehicle stopped immediately and colleagues and bystanders rushed to pull her from beneath it. She was evacuated by emergency responders but was pronounced dead despite rescue efforts. Mabawali said the Corps had activated its internal procedures in response to the incident. Quote, "It is true that we lost the personnel during the simulation exercise. Our senior officers are already on their way to the residence of the deceased to commiserate with the family." End of quote. He added that the NSCDC would release a comprehensive statement detailing the circumstances of the accident and the steps being taken. As of Saturday, the identity of the deceased officer had not been officially disclosed.
The children have been rescued without breaking their leave. A very successful operation.
You're still on to news updates on Trust TV. We'll return from the break. Now to more stories. Tears, frustration and uncertainty now define what should have been a season of harvest for irrigation farmers around Ajiwa in Botogarawa and Rimi local government areas of Katsina State. Farmers say invading worms are ravaging their crops. Water is scarce and government support is nowhere to be found. Many fear that if urgent action is not taken, they may be forced to abandon irrigation farming entirely. Trust TV's Abdullahi Ahmadi reports.
From Kunduwaji, Kofai, Hayu, Unguwar Tsamiya, Kalgon Inu, Nazari, Agarik, Gajerar Giwa, Ido Sama, Sabuwar Ƙasa, Bakin Gulbi to Fadamar Tunga, the story is the same. Shattered hopes and mounting debts. Farmers inspect their crops. What should be fresh green leaves and ripening tomatoes are now perforated and eaten away by strange worms. For months, they labored tirelessly, clearing land, planting seedlings, applying fertilizers and chemicals, all in anticipation of a fruitful irrigation season. But water, the lifeline of irrigation farming, has become a daily struggle. With no functional canals or boreholes, many rely on pumping water from the Ajiwa Dam over a kilometer from their farms. Fuel costs for the pumps continue to fluctuate. The stress is enormous, and returns are heartbreakingly low. Some farmers work before dawn to pump water, only to see worms and birds destroy their crops before harvest. These worms are something we have never seen before. We spray chemicals, but they keep coming back. They destroy the leaves and enter the tomatoes. Every morning, we come to the farm with hope, and every evening, we go back home disappointed. If this continues, we will lose everything we invested. We buy fertilizers, chemicals, and seeds at very high prices. But when it is time to sell, a basket of tomatoes is sold for 1,500 or 2,000. How can that cover our expenses? We are running at a loss. Many of us are already in debt. We depend on water from Ajiwa Dam, and it is very far from our farms. We spend a lot of money on fuel just to pump water. Sometimes the money we use for fuel in 1 week is more than what we make from sales. Irrigation farming is becoming too expensive for us. Beyond pests, the market situation is equally devastating. After investing heavily in seeds, fertilizers, and agrochemicals purchased at high prices, farmers are forced to sell produce cheaply. A full basket of tomatoes now sells for 1,500 to 2,000 naira. not enough to cover transport costs. A bag of pepper goes for 17 to 18,000 naira, despite months of labor and expenses. Many are already in debt. Others say they may abandon farming altogether if conditions persist. Farmers are calling on state and federal authorities for urgent intervention, including functional irrigation systems, canals, boreholes, modern farming equipment, structured markets, and price support to prevent exploitation and post-harvest losses. We are begging the government to help us with irrigation facilities like canals and boreholes. If there is proper support and better markets, we can produce enough food for the state and beyond. But if nothing is done, many of us will be forced to stop farming. As the irrigation season progresses, anxiety grows across these communities. For these farmers, this is not just about crops. It is about survival, livelihoods, and the future of food production in Katsina. Without urgent support, what was once a thriving irrigation hub may soon fall silent. Abdullahi Isma Yamadi, Trust Television News, Katsina.
Ramadan is a period of spiritual reflection, devotion and sacrifice for Muslims, yet daily life and work continue. In Kaduna, artisans say unpredictable weather and shifting priorities during the fasting period have reduced patronage for some trades. Here's more in this report from Bello Musa.
During Ramadan, purchasing patterns among Muslims shift, with a strong focus on foodstuffs, charity and alms giving, while businesses like tailoring and foodstuff sales see high patronage. During the fasting period, other artisans and trades experience lower customer demand as spending priorities move toward essential Ramadan items. To be honest, patronage is low, but we thank God because we still earn enough to take care of our parents.
Though
business has slowed, people still bring their motorcycles for repairs. Many now focus on buying essentials for their families. We still get some customers, but during fasting, construction and building work slows as people focus on charity and alms giving, which affects our business. Coping with work and fasting can be particularly challenging for those engaged in hard labor. However, many say careful time management and scheduling are essential to reduce stress and stay productive during Ramadan. We continue working during Ramadan, but we adjust our hours from 8 to 2 or 10 to 4, depending on how we schedule operations.
The
hot weather makes work challenging, so we prefer to operate in the mornings during fasting to conserve energy. A visual artist, Lawal Suleiman, continues his work in a relatively cool workshop. He said he carefully plans his activities to manage stress, as customer patronage usually drops during the fasting period.
I schedule my time from morning around that kind 9 a.m. to 4 o'clock. That's why I do my paintings. and what have you. So thereafter, I closed in time to go and attend tafsir in the mosque. Then that's how I schedule my time. And also, there is low volume of sales during the fasting because people are engaged into various acts of ibadat. So that also affects us. But due to the fact that fasting around, we also have customers that normally patronize us due to the fact that they are preparing for Salah. Some of them normally decorate their houses for Salah.
Beyond the challenges of fasting and work, economic hardships in the country have compounded difficulties for artisans, laborers and street hawkers during this period. Bella Musa, Trust TV News Kaduna.
Let's get to business, where crude oil prices could spike as major oil companies suspend shipments through the Strait of Hormuz amid escalating tensions between Iran, the United States and Israel. The strait, a key maritime corridor connecting the Persian Gulf to the Indian Ocean, is vital to the global oil supply. Fears of a possible shutdown have already disrupted cargo movements. Brent crude currently trades at $72.87 per barrel. West Texas Intermediate at $67.02 per barrel, and Nigeria's Bonny Light at $78.62 per barrel. The suspension follows coordinated United States and Israeli strikes on Iran, prompting retaliatory missile attacks across the region. Saudi Arabia has vowed to resist any aggression, leaving global markets on edge as uncertainty grows. Away from Nigeria, in Point Nur, thousands of supporters turned out to watch President Denis Sassou Nguesso parading an open-top car during a campaign rally for his Congolese Labour Party at the March 15 election. Sassou Nguesso, one of Africa's longest-serving leaders, first took power in 1979, returned in 1997 after a civil war, and has since remained in office through multiple terms, including after a constitutional change in 2016. While opposition candidates, including 34-year-old Destin Garvin, have confirmed their bids, the fragmented and restricted opposition faces an uphill battle against the incumbent, whose campaign promises a wave of support. The president highlighted his economic record in roads, fossil fuels and agriculture, but critics point to persistent poverty, with nearly half of the country's 6 million population living below the poverty line. Sassou Nguesso's opponents have long contested his election victories, with some former candidates imprisoned, drawing criticism from civil society groups over civil liberties and political freedoms. And in sports, Super Eagles goalkeeper Amas Obasege has denied any involvement in match fixing and vowed to clear his name of any wrongdoing. The 26-year-old was suspended for 3 months on Friday by Tanzanian Premier League club Singida Black Stars SC following allegations that he manipulated the outcome of a CAF Confederation Cup match in a domestic league game. Obasege maintained that the goals he conceded in both matches were the result of ordinary footballing errors, not deliberate misconduct. The former Bendel Insurance goalkeeper is expected to appear before a disciplinary committee to defend himself and clear his name. And that wraps up news updates at this time. For more of our news programs, documentaries, do it for our social media platform and on our YouTube live stream. I am Chiama Kanwafo. Thank you for joining us at this time. Good evening.